Golf Central on YouTube is brought to you by the new Chrome Tour golf ball from Callaway.
This week, the PGA Tour Champions at the Woodlands in Texas for the Insperity Invitational. Opening round coverage getting started Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. The big news, Bernhard Langer is making his return to competition. Langer tore his left Achilles tendon while playing pickleball in February, had surgery the following day. By the way, he's a four-time winner of this event, most recently in 2018. Now, go back to March of 1995. Michael Jordan announcing his return to the NBA. This is before social media. He sent a fax that said, "I'm back." And in a move that only Hall of Famers are allowed to pull off, Bernhard Langer also announcing, "I'm back," via social media. And with that, we welcome in World Golf Hall of Famer Bernhard Langer. I have to ask, was there any thought of going old school and just sending out a fax announcing your return?
Definitely not. I don't even have a fax anymore.
That surgery was 3 months ago. How did you recover so quickly?
Yeah, I was very fortunate and blessed to have a great team, a wonderful surgeon. There's a new technique called the speed bridge, which really speeds up everything, as the name kind of says. Aaron Rodgers had the same procedure done a few months before me. And yeah, they told me probably 4 to 8 months is most common. And here I am in 3 months. Obviously, I can use a golf cart on the Champions Tour, which helps tremendously because I wouldn't be able to walk all 18 holes at this point in time. But I am capable of, swinging pretty much as hard as I want to and posting up on my bad leg, which is the left one. So far I've had no issues with that, and I've been practicing for the last 3 weeks.
Did you know what happened when it happened, or did you kind of have to be told by the doctor what happened?
I knew about 10 seconds later that at first somebody lobbed me, so I did a couple of steps backward, hit the ball, playing pickleball, and I heard this noise and felt this pain, and I thought somebody hit me in the back of my foot with a hammer. And as I fell over, I looked behind me and there was nobody there. And I realized at that time, laying on the ground, that it's most likely a torn Achilles, which I had witnessed. A friend of mine was shooting hoops. He jumped up, make a basket, and as he landed, I heard this, sounds like a shotgun noise. And it actually scared me just watching him. And then he fell down and he had a torn Achilles. So I was an eyewitness to him, and I realized that this is probably what happened to me.
It's odd that virtually every description I've ever heard sounds exactly the same thing. Are you planning on maybe putting the pickleball paddles away for a while?
Yeah, definitely for a while. I'm not allowed to even run or jump, or I can't even walk properly at this point in time. So yeah, it will have to wait several months. And if it was up to my wife, never. So she's probably hiding the pickleball paddles in a corner where I'll never find them.
Interesting story you mentioned about Aaron Rodgers suffering a similar injury. Did you draw inspiration from him?
Yeah, I drew inspiration definitely from him. And I also talked to a friend of mine who knew the surgeon and the procedure, and he was guiding me through the process. Reinhold Schmieding, who owns the Arthrex company in Naples, and he told me actually about Dr. Chris Hodgkins in Miami, who then did my surgery about 20 hours after I got hurt. So he was very helpful in that whole process. And then at the Masters, I was able to, through Andy Norris, who had Aaron Rodgers contacts, and I got his number, and then we talked for about 45 minutes on the phone a few days ago and just exchanged what happened to him, what happened to me, and found out that the procedure was very similar. The rehab is very similar. And we joked about the 2-in-1 thing, which is you part of the rehab is you go up on both feet on the toe, and then you bring the bad one down slowly with most of your weight. And it's not easy, and we both don't really like it, but it's very vital and important to do it.
What went into your decision to return this week?
Several things. First of all, I felt I was able to play golf. I've been practicing for 3 weeks now, and I'm going at it pretty much full bore. Secondly, Houston is very flat here. It's less likely that I could injure myself, re-injure it, just because of the flat contours of the golf course. Certainly, it's one of my favorite events. I've won this tournament, the Insperity Invitational, 4 times. It was my first victory on the Champions Tour about 17 years ago. And just enjoy coming here year after year. The people who run this event, Brian Nagel with his team, are fantastic, and Insperity is a wonderful sponsor. So all of those factors combined, being able to use a golf cart as well, I thought this would be a great time to ease my way back on tour.
You had previously mentioned that you wanted to tee it up and play in the Masters one final time, but the injury prevented that. All things being equal, do you plan on going back to Augusta National next year for one final time?
Yes, correct. With my goal is to make my final appearance as a player next year. Really look forward to that, especially with my son chasing on the bag. That will be a nice farewell. And then I anticipate to being part of the Masters for many, many more years, but not as a player.
You are a 2-time Masters champion. Scottie Scheffler just joined that club. He's now won 4 of his last 5 starts. How impressed are you as a Masters champion, as a fan of golf, with what Scheffler is doing right now?
Extremely impressed. Not just with his golf prowesses, but just the person he is. I was able to sit next to him at the Champions Dinner this April, and we had some good conversations, and I'm very impressed with this young man. He's really got an old head on, or wise head on young shoulders. He's so secure within himself. I believe his faith helps him tremendously, and just enjoyed getting to know him a little bit, and I think we haven't even seen the best of him yet.
And on the LPGA Tour, Nelly Korda, 5 consecutive wins. I don't think people understand how difficult that is in golf. As someone who sets records on a regular basis yourself, how tough is it to win 5 consecutive starts?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's extremely difficult. You play different golf courses, different conditions, different grasses, and sand, and weather conditions. And all it takes is a couple of hiccups here or there, and you're not in contention. You may miss the cut. So for Nelly to pull that off, that happens once every, 50, 100 years. I have no idea. The craziest thing I've ever heard was obviously Byron Nelson winning 11 in a row. No idea how he pulled that off, but 5 in a row in the modern game is exceptional. And congrats to her and to Scottie, obviously.
Last question. What is an acceptable result for you at the Insperity this week?
Great question. I have no idea. I have probably the least expectations I ever had going into a tournament. But I do love the golf course. At this point, I don't even know if I've lost a lot of club head speed and how far I hit my irons and all that, but hopefully not too much. And just being here is enough for me. I don't really, care where I finish. Obviously, I will try my hardest, but it would be close to a miracle if I finish in the top 10.
Well, we're just happy to have you back on the golf course. Congratulations and a safe recovery. Bernhard, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Whit. Take care.